सेक्स वर्क वो उसका काम है। तुम भी तो ऑफिस जाते हो डेली। अभी हम बोले ऑफिस में तुम सिर्फ टाइपराइटर चलाते हो और कुछ चलाते हो, फिर तुम किसी और को क्यों टॉर्चर करते हो कि तुम काम नहीं करते, तुम सिर्फ सेक्स वर्क करते हो।
जैसे जो जान पहचान वाले हैं, हफ्ते में 2-3 4 बार आने वाले हैं, कॉल करते हैं तो मिल के जाते हैं। तो राशन पानी देने से तो नहीं होता है, उसके साथ दूध चाहिए, सब्जी चाहिए, हर कुछ चाहिए, सिलेंडर चाहिए।
Just like Jyoti, Sudha, and Reshma, there are 8 lakh other sex workers who are directly victimized as a result of the stigma that comes with prostitution.
A man with a family, a corporate job, hobbies, and a set of friends is considered to be supposedly normal. But this man will never marry a prostitute. Why? He would be afraid to be associated with people outside the realm of so called normal. He will be too concerned about what his family thinks. He would be too afraid of what others might say. This normal man is likely to be a great client to a prostitute, but he will never marry her. He may love her, be attracted to her, and cheat on his wife with a prostitute. But he will never swim against the tide to give a prostitute the full dignity of marriage. Why is it that something as normal as sex work should be considered anomalous?
Understanding this very need to be accepted in the society, we, Nishi, Shaila, and Trishla, bring forward the plight of a sex worker in a country like India, especially in the challenging times of the ongoing pandemic.
Violence against sex workers in India is linked to the perception that sex workers are criminals and not citizens. Here's why. The life of sex worker hasn't been easy. It is upsetting to see the mounting extremity in violence that they have been facing for decades now. They are facing a lot of abuse in the form of domestic violence, harassment by clients and family members. The sick mindset of the people that sex workers are not citizens but criminal has led to systematic and large-scale violation of fundamental rights such as right to life, dignity, equality, equal protection, and due processes under the law.
और पुलिस भी परेशान करती है ना, जैसा मिलने के लिए भी आएंगे तो फिर उनको डंडा वंडा से मारते हैं। जैसे हम बोलेंगे आप ऐसे परेशानी में हो, आपके हम कुछ मदद करेंगे, चाहे 1000 रुपये ले लो, 2000 रुपये ले लो। जैसे इस चीज़ के लिए भी कुछ खाने पीने का सामान हो गया, हमें देने के लिए आते हैं तो वो खामा में मार खा के जाते हैं, नीचे ही पकड़ लेते हैं पुलिस।
The state is an instrument of abuse for sex workers, feared rather than seen as a protector of rights. The complaints regarding this violence are not addressed even by the police due to the uncomfortability surrounding the subject. Police apathy to the plight of sex workers results in the denial of access to provisions under the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. Instead, they advise women to stop this work and take care of the domestic chores. This is further worsened due to the lack of knowledge about the rights amongst these workers. In addition, they face a lot of troubles in accessing proper healthcare, housing, and employment opportunities as they're unable to voice their concerns and seek any kind of protection from the courts or the police as a result of the stigmatization.
Sex workers have moved in search of a better life and livelihood. Though poverty and inequality may be the reasons for people to engage in sex work and imply insufficient free choice, it cannot be said that all people suffering from such conditions have been trafficked. Hence, they should benefit from human rights support, including social and economic choices, just like you and I. Sexual assault of sex workers is also increasing at a rapid pace, but it has no legal acknowledgement. There's a false consciousness regarding the sex workers that they can never be a victim to rape because of their profession. That is, if she's consented to multiple partners for commercial sex,
then she has given up the right to refuse other partners for sex.
This further links to how the sex workers are alienated from their own body and why people tend to look down upon them and their cardinal rights. Prostitution in itself gives rise to the objectification of the woman's body, making it into a product. The sex worker experiences alienation from her labor power through the commodification of her body and, to some degree, abuse. The objectification of prostitution further enhances the exploitation of labor, as the sex workers themselves are commodities. They do not produce goods, but rather are the goods, and in this way, they are alienated from a product that is physically a part of their existence.
Henceforth, stigmatization, which has its roots embedded in patriarchal morality standards, is a major factor that prevents women from exercising their rights. Such systemic abuse further intensifies sexism in the lives of women in sex work. This provides a fertile ground for social isolation and deprivation of their rights.
When coronavirus hit the streets of India, the red light area of Delhi was one of the first places to observe a rapid decline in customers. The pandemic left many sex workers with almost no source to earn a livelihood. During this current pandemic, with social distancing in place, what happens to people whose job requires physical intimacy?
Sex workers in India have had to adapt to new norms during the pandemic. While some have been doing temperature checks on clients and sanitizing their rooms after every visit, a few have turned to phone and internet as the new viable option, but again, not a lot of them have access to technology, and even if they do, they don't have enough money to buy food, let alone make 30-minute long phone calls. These workers have no job security whatsoever. Union government announced some relief schemes, none of which include sex workers. Many have to continue working despite the risks.
पैसा नहीं है, वही चावल डाल वही खा रहा हूँ, क्या करूँ? टेंशन में बच्चा भी है, मेरा पेट भरा रहा, बच्चा लोग को कौन खिलाएगा? अरे बच्चा लोग तो इंतजार कर रहा है, मम्मी आएगा, ये लेके आएगा, वो लेके आएगा, पैसा कहाँ से मिलेगा? खाली हाथ में कैसा जाऊँ?
While there was relief in the form of food, grains and utilities, this did not help the women with their rent and debt payments, as the government only provides for those who are able to produce ration cards. And more than 50% of sex workers across India do not have ration cards or any such documentation for that matter.
इन दिनों कोशिश की है कोई और काम करने की?
कोशिश तो की है, झूठ क्यों बोलूं? नहीं मिलता। यहाँ के आधार पर कार्ड में कोई देता है नौकरी? कोई बाहर हम कुछ बोल सकते हैं? नहीं बोल सकते हैं, हम कुछ कोशिश भी नहीं कर सकते। यहाँ के आधार कार्ड से तो बोलेंगे कि तुम तो वहाँ के हो, कहीं हम बाहर दिखा भी नहीं पाते हैं। कोई टिकट भी बनाने जाओ तो अलग नज़र से ही तो देखेंगे, घर लेके चले जाएंगे गाँव, वहीं पे जो भी काम है खेती बाड़ी करके ही वही करना पड़ेगा। वैसा रहेगा तो कैसा रहेगा?
This is indicative of the endless constraints and challenges that they face as a result of the stigma which sees and has no bounds.
Perhaps the most pervasive human right violation emerges from ITPA's rule on rescue and rehabilitation. Special police officers and NGO workers are involved in brothel raids where women are supposedly rescued and placed in rehabs. And in doing so, they often do not differentiate between minors and consenting adults. With this pandemic, the rates have increased steeply, but with them being under the false consciousness of saving the minors, they are completely ignorant to the consequential mishaps, which is taking away the only source of livelihood from the consenting sex workers in the times of distress.
Funds is the biggest problem, getting funds.
Why?
Social or CSR groups, they don't want to fund for this kind of programs. There is a myth there in the society, oh, prostitutes, they are earning more, but which is not true. देखिए, उनको जॉब देना है, उसमें समाज में उनको अपनाना है।
In these times of the COVID-19 pandemic, this lack of acceptance has left thousands of sex workers across India in a very vulnerable position and has taken away their agency to act and take decisions independently and free from the influence of social, economic and political factors.
As educated citizens, we need to act upon this atrocity and unfairness directed towards sex workers, and that again requires for a united and consensual effort from all of us to combat what is the root of the problem, patriarchy, and its resultant hierarchical discrimination.
The whole concept of otherness, which creates a dominant discourse and allows it to take control of the oppressed identities, which in our case refers to the sex workers, needs to be abolished. It's high time we treat a human as a human, irrespective of his or her social identity.